Howdy, my friends, and welcome to the channel today. I'm Luke, Thunderhead289, here on YouTube. And if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know, Emily and I, my wife, we lived in a trailer park for quite a long time, but after years of working in slaughter plants and whatever and saving money, we finally were able to buy a decent place. We worked on it for a while, and then we were finally able to move into it here. So it's not too bad. It took a little bit of work, but just recently we got everything moved in. It's been livable, and so that's all good and dandy. But, you know, I got this stupid car addiction here that's not so good. You can see my wife's vet truck here. She graduated and she's out of school. And anyway, so I finally have a garage back here where I can work on some stuff and get some things done. But I don't know what it was, back in the 60s, 70s, this house was built in like 77 or something. They never put adequate garage lighting in these. So it was like two, just those little screw in filament style bulbs, and you just couldn't see anything. I don't know if these people had night vision, and then, generations after generation, we just lost that capability, so we can't see what we're doing. But I sure as heck couldn't see anything in here. So I made a few changes, and we can just take a look, and it was super fast and easy to do. And if you were in the same situation as I was, maybe this will be helpful to you. So let's take a look in here. All right, so I only got the garage half done, and it is extremely bright in here, especially on the side that, I hope to be able to work on stuff in. Now, originally, it just had two light sockets for these, what would you call these, like a filament bulb. And so anyway, these lights have worked out really good. I discovered these a couple months ago, and, let's just flip around here and take a look at them. All right, so these are the animals right here that we got hanging up there, or at least one of the variants that I've picked up in the last few months. But all that aside, they do light up the place really well. And I got one of these Lux things here. It just basically tracks the amount of brightness. You can't track lumens, but there's something to Lux or whatever. Basically, it just tracks or gives you a readout or a measurable unit of the illumination. So what we'll do here, just to do a little comparisons, it's hard to see, right? They're bright and the glare with the camera, whatever. What we'll do is we'll screw in the originals and we'll put this in the same place. We won't move it. And then we'll unscrew those and just screw in the two centers we have now just to do a direct comparison and see what the difference is. But, for me, I just went a little nutty this evening and ran to Menards. I had a moment. And basically what I did, and I do not recommend doing this. Okay, this is the most banjo-picking stupid thing I've ever done electrically. If you're gonna install any light sockets or fixtures, especially in a home, technically the thing needs to be to code. You need to have an electrician do it and have a permit or whatever. So don't recommend doing this, but this is what I did where it took like 5 minutes. Basically, I got one of those screw-in light socket deals, and then I got an adapter so I could use one of these Wi-Fi enabled switches, which you don't necessarily have to have. You could eliminate the adapter and plug right into this guy. And then we just have an extension cord that I cut the end off, and then we wired that guy in. Always remember, your gold is your hot lead and your silver is the neutral. And if you're unsure which is which, see if we can unplug this. The larger prong is always your neutral lead, if I can remember that right. But let's get everything switched over and throw these in and just check the difference. Oh, let's try those little things out. I haven't done it yet. Of course, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, so front of the garage. Let's see if we can get this all in the same shot. Dink. Oh, that's the front of the garage. Ha! All right, back. Dink, there we go. So you can even see just a big difference having two less of those on. But, normally I would just need two of them. I wouldn't need all that unless I'm working on something. And these are pretty cool deals. I'll leave the link to these below too. You can set them up on a timer. You can schedule them on and off. So where I used them is before we moved in, when we were working on the place here, I had them on different lights in the house that would come on and off at different times based on different days to make it look like someone was here, so no one broke in and stole anything. But enough with that. I'll leave the link. Those are really cheap and really cool. Really neat thing I discovered a little while back. But anyway, I'll stop flapping my jaw. We'll screw these in and we'll do a quick comparison. This is the OG garage lighting, or at least what it was like when we moved in. And it actually looks brighter on the cam that I can see than, what it actually is in reality. So let's go take a look at our meter again. I don't want to move the thing, so it's just in which way are we going here with our hand? It's just in a static spot here on the floor. Typically I pull cars in. So this is the area of where I'm working under the hood of things. So this is a pretty important place to have lights. And we'll just do a comparison of the light in this location. So it's actually moving around right now because I'm blocking some of the light. So let me get way down here. We'll see if we can move around. So I don't know, 173 seems pretty accurate for what we're dealing with. Again, the cam does it actually for once too much justice. It's actually very dark in here. So anyway, now let's just screw in our two units that if we don't change anything else, that would just be the direct difference between these light bulbs and replacing it with just a couple of those big alien looking light things. All right, so just taking a look around the garage, you can see that it's noticeably brighter all throughout, although, even though the lights are localized in the center, again, we have these guys installed. And so this is just a direct replacement comparison, the difference between a normal filament bulb, which I think one of those, or even an LED, which is just a little bit brighter. It's an equivalent unit, so it's pretty much the same deal. But these are just a night and day difference. And if you noticed on the lux meter, apparently I can't read, that was originally 17.3 or whatever, not 170. And so now, comparatively, I don't even care if I block some of the light. It was at 17 before, and you can see it's like well up at like 107. So I'll just click these other ones on here and see how much more we have. And I do plan to double this up on this other side here to really light this place up. It's kind of scary what $15 and a trip to Menards can get you, and like 15 minutes. But we'll click these other ones on here, see if we can get this all in the same shot. Boop. Nope. Apparently we have to look at our phone to see what we're doing. There we go. All right. And you can just see, it's way, way, way brighter now. Take a little comparative check. Now we're hanging out, and I'm blocking some of the light with my body. We're way up. Oh, now I'm really blocking it with my head. There we go. We're way up at like 250 some. So that's going from like 17 to 250. And like, seriously, this took me like a half hour to do. Again, I recommend doing all this the right way, but you can even see just a direct comparison of just installing a couple of these versus a normal filament style bulb. Just night and day difference. I would never go back to trying to use these in a garage. So it turns out curiosity is what's going to kill off Uncle Luke, not all my hooligan wagons and, rattle trap stuff with all the weather checked bald tires. No, it's stupid stuff like this. So I got one of these lights rigged up here on the floor, and basically we have a multimeter looped in so we can see how many amps it takes to run one of these units. And obviously then you can multiply that by however many units you want to install and see what you can run on a 15 amp circuit. So I was pretty curious. Let's take a look at this thing over here. I don't know why I put that bicycle there, always in the way. All right, we got the multimeter set to amps here, and basically the way it works when you get the leads hooked up is the multimeter is just a pass through, and so power is coming from the receptacle, and then we're tied in here. Very questionably, it's going through the multimeter, back out and into the terminal of the light socket. So it looks like we're coming in at somehow just under a half an amp. Is that right? So these like barely take any power apparently. And you can see what you get out of them. So that's pretty neat. If I ran like 6 of these, what is that? 6 times 0.5 is like 3 amp or whatever. Shameful that I had to think about that, but it'd take only about 3 amp on a 15 amp circuit, and then you'd have plenty of amp left for auxiliary activities. But anyway, on the spectrum of impulse buys, those lights worked out pretty good for me. Late night Amazon search and whatnot. Again, I'll leave the link below. They say they last forever, whatever. They're cheap. They're only like 20 bucks, and they made a huge difference in this garage where I can actually see what I'm doing. And my favorite part, I like working on cars. I don't necessarily like doing home projects, even though I'm capable. And so it was just super quick where I could do it fast and then get back to doing what I want to do with the little free time that I have. So anyway, thanks for coming along with me again. I'll catch you guys for the next one. See you later.